Dr. Gross's ship was in flames when she was last seen, together with Tiffany. We see Tiffany again roaming the wasteland with more cybernetic parts, but Dr. Gross's fate? Unknown. Margles was erased from existence across infinite realities. Even Prismo, who controls time itself, couldn't bring her back. 10 years, 283 episodes, and Adventure Time left questions that still haunts its fandom. Not every mystery gets solved, not every question gets an answer, and sometimes that's the whole point, which is why today we're going to go over all of them. Continuing with Dr. Gross, the mad scientist from Founders Island obsessed with this one idea, and that was forced evolution through cybernetic enhancement. She believed humanity needed to be upgraded, whether they wanted to or not. She trained Susan Strong as a seeker, an augmented human designed to prevent anyone from leaving the island. After Finn and Martin escape, her experiments spiraled out of control. She accidentally released a virus that killed 62% of the island's population. Then she fled to Ooo to continue her work. In Preboot, she captures Finn, Jake, and Susan on her ship full of hybrid creatures, part organic, part machine, all wrong. She gives them drugged candy to paralyze them for experimentation. Her goal was to drag them into a golden age through forced cybernetic modification. Susan fights back. They escape. The ship self-destructs in a massive explosion. And then, nothing. Tiffany appears later in the series with even more cybernetic enhancements than before. He survived, and the cybernetic enhancements hint at the idea of Dr. Gross surviving as well. So, is she hiding somewhere in Ooo, building a new army of hybrids? The fan theories about this get kinda dark. Some believe she inspired Princess Bubblegum's authoritarian future, the Prizeball Guardian in Grable's 1000+, that evolved surveillance system that kept candy people in containers combines Dr. Gross's extreme science with PB's overprotective control. Two approaches to protecting people by removing their freedom, essentially, both doing experiments on their own kind. Her name isn't subtle either. Dr. Gross is likely a reference to Heinrich Gross, a Nazi doctor who performed experiments on children. The show was making a point about eugenics, a forced improvement, playing God with other people's bodies, and then they kinda just dropped it. A villain this dangerous, this thematically rich, they didn't necessarily do her justice, but maybe she deserves an ending, right? Well, did she die? Is she rebuilding? Did she just go off into the distance? Did she learn anything and become a better person? Did she change at all? Or maybe did she double down on her twisted vision? We'll never know unless Fiona and Cake Season 2 is here to reveal some new stuff, so here's hoping. Now, at least with Dr. Gross, there is some uncertainty, right? But some mysteries don't leave much room for hope. Some mysteries come with a clear, horrifying answer that somehow raises even more questions. Margles was Magic Man's wife when he lived on Mars, a green Martian woman who made him the happiest man alive. They had a normal, loving relationship. Then GOLB attacked Mars, and Margles was taken. In this context, here's what we think taken means. Magic Man searched for her for hundreds of years, every dimension, every dead world in existence, but he found nothing. So, he went to Prismo's room, a place that exists outside of time and reality itself, where wishes can rewrite all of the universe and reality. And he wished for Margles back, and instead of Margles, a basketball hoop trash bin appeared. Magic Man's words sum it up.
But you were gone, erased, only existing here and here.
GOLB didn't just kill Margles, he erased her from existence, from all realities, from death, from every timeline and dimension simultaneously. Think about what that means. No version of her exists anywhere, ever, nowhere, except in his memory. So, in his grief, Magic Man created magical automated resistance generating laser energy supplier, or Margles in short, a defense system built from magic and science, shaped by his nightmares, designed to protect Mars from GOLB's return. It malfunctioned and fell off Olympus Mons. That failure turned him into the Jerk. Now, those green blocks floating around GOLB might be previous victims, and we think that's kind of what Margles ended up as. You can see that when he turns the Lich into one of these. GOLB, it kind of exists above the multiverse's rules and kind of does what it wants, right? But this is the mystery of Margles that no one can really solve. Why did GOLB erase her? And is there any way to get her back? What was the story behind all of that? But if there's one more character that is also sucked out of existence, someone barely even spoken about, it's Jake's biological father. A blue, five-eyed, shape-shifting alien who bit Joshua during a mission and implanted Jake into his head. Yeah, really. Jake was born from his adoptive biological birth father's head. In Jake the Star Child, Jake finally confronts his birth father, his blue daddy, and discovers the horrifying truth. Warren has hundreds of children. He reproduces specifically to then drain them of their powers. He extends his own life force by consuming his offspring's life force. So all Jake was meant to be was food to be drained and killed like all the rest. So he fights back and throws him into a black hole. Warren's last words are the start of this mystery.
I'm going 4D, baby.
And then he's gone. So what does 4D mean? Did he transcend to a fourth dimension? Escape through a higher dimensional space? Or did he just die screaming brain rot into the void? The show introduced Jake's alien heritage and then kind of barely explored it. His true form is this giant blue five-eyed monster, kind of just like Warren. Warren could open interdimensional portals, so can Jake? Does he ever use those powers again? Well, some fans theorize that Warren's portal abilities might explain Finn's trip to Pillow World in Puhoi. It might also reference the fact that Jake's children are a whole bunch of multi-powered, superpowered dog rainicorn pups, right? So Jake's children with Lady Rainicorn are kind of half alien, half dog, half rainicorn with unknown power potential. And in the far future, like 1,000+ years, Jake's descendants populate Ooh. So what exactly did they inherit? Well, if you want to find that out, make sure to click here to watch our video on it. This episode aired near the show's end. The going 4D line feels kind of like a setup for something that has not exactly happened just yet. But the mystery surrounding Warren Ampersand doesn't end there either. He reproduced across dimensions specifically to drain his offspring for their life force. Jake is just one of the few, maybe possibly the only child who survived long enough to fight back, but not necessarily. So that means that there could be dead siblings already drained by Warren, living siblings who escaped or haven't been found yet either, right? Even siblings in other dimensions since Warren traveled the multiverse. So it leaves a lot more questions like, are they hunting for Jake as revenge? What's up with them? Maybe are they blaming him for Warren's death? Could they be more powerful than Jake? Do they love him because they knew of Warren and he saved them? Maybe they're in like the crystal dimension. But what do you think? There's a lot of theories about this. Of ascending to 4D though, there is another mystery of someone disappearing in space. Kinda seems like a pattern now, right? Well, it all started with one. Martin has a pattern throughout the series. He is a coward who keeps fleeing from responsibility, a con artist who used people, a deadbeat who abandoned his son repeatedly, someone who's always running away from consequences. In The Comet, Finn saves the world by beating Orgolorg over the Catalyst Comet. The comet offers him something. Transcendence. Become one with the cosmos.
Come with me to the end and the beginning, or struggle here a while like a beautiful autumn leaf.
And when Finn doesn't take it, someone else is there for a new mode. And of course, it's Martin. So he up and just disappears again. We never see him again. So what exactly happened after Martin entered that portal? Did he like merge with cosmic consciousness, becoming part of the cycle of Catalyst comets? Finally find that true escape he's been seeking his whole life? Did he reject it, see transcendence and then scared and try to back out, but like get trapped, now floating in the void between dimensions, alone, dying or dead or in spirit mode in empty space? Did the portal lead to another dimension? Did the comet bring him anywhere? Like, not even transcendence, just another escape route. And maybe Martin ended up somewhere else, continuing to be a deadbeat, never changing, never growing, never coming back. Fan theories are split about this. Some believe Martin's story is meant to be unresolved because, you know what? Some parents never come back and never give closure. Others think that he merged with the comet cycle itself. Unlike most Adventure Time characters who get growth and closure, Martin remains a mystery, and that's intentional, whatever the reason might be. But for all the mysteries we've covered so far, we got a feeling the next mystery is gonna get resolved soon. The Lich was reborn as Sweet Pea when Finn splashed him with the Citadel Guardian's healing blood. He's now this innocent child, but the Lich's essence remains inside of him. In Whispers and Gold Stars, the Lich kind of briefly possesses Sweet Pea when Sweet Pea gets overly stressed, even uses him as some sort of like sock puppet. But Sweet Pea, as their own being, rejects the idea and the goal of the Lich,
I am not a king of ruin.
effectively killing the Lich in their mind of this dimension. In Crossover, the Lich Hand exists across the entire multiverse. Infinite versions of infinite dimensions, all with this Lich Hand spread across all of them. Sweet Pea defeated one of them. Countless others remain. Sweet Pea is very, very unique. One even manipulated new death in the afterlife. That is how powerful the Lich is. And he's now all over the multiverse. So the finale's 1,000-year flash forward shows Sweet Pea as this mountain-sized giant carrying this huge-sized knight sword. He appears to be Oo's protector of some sort. But that leads to so many mysteries, right? How did Sweet Pea survive these 1,000 years? Is he immortal? Is it because there's some immortality left from the Lich inside of him, and he's just like the opposite of the Lich now, protecting the universe and protecting the world? Is Sweet Pea's Knight Sword exactly the same as Finn's version? Or did Pepbutt forge a new one for him, and it's based on his own size? So many questions left. Leave some down in the comments down below. But these kinds of questions are nothing compared to another evil being who seems to survive all the catastrophic events of Adventure Time and who we don't really get a lot of answers about, and that's Hunson Abadir. Marceline's dad is the Lord of Evil himself, and we never learned how that's even possible or the rules of this. In Everything Stays, young Marceline has nightmares. Elise, her mom, comforts her and told a story ending with,
And that's a story of how I met your dad.
but we never hear the story. How does a human woman meet and have a child with the ruler of the Nightosphere, the Lord of Evil, an entity that subsists on eating souls and has chaotic evil literally sustaining his dimension? The questions about that one pile up. So did Hunson visit Earth in disguise and like look for a woman or get like romanced? Did Elise somehow enter the Nightosphere and get Hunson? So was this before or after the Mushroom War? Did she know what he was? Did she do it on purpose? How does a soul-eating, deathless entity even have a biological child? And the evidence we have in this series makes it even more strange. So Elise tells the story really warmly, so that makes it seem like it wasn't some sort of traumatic experience, and that they possibly had a good relationship. And Marceline doesn't seem horrified, so she likely had an okay, if not neglected, relationship with her father. Remember that Fries episode? Marceline, you know, it's fine with this story. Like, Hunson kept a photo of them together, right? So, despite being, like, evil, he had some genuine feelings. He was a legit dad. Better than, I'm guessing, a lot of parents in some ways. He even grows as a person during the show to be a better father to Marceline. With all these stories and all these questions, fan theories try to fill in this gap. So maybe Hunson came to Earth out of curiosity and met Elise, hid his demonic nature at first, eventually revealed the truth, and then she accepted him anyway because maybe she loved him, right? Maybe Elise summoned him kind of like Finn did in It Came From the Nightosphere, like by performing a ritual and then forming some sort of connection. Or maybe loving Elise was Hunson's last good act before he became fully demonic, mirroring Magic Man losing Margles and becoming cruel and this magical entity. But whatever happened, it is kind of tragic, right? A human woman and the Lord of Evil having a child together who then becomes a vampire. He loved her enough to have a family and have a daughter. She loved him despite, or maybe not knowing, what he was, and Elise eventually died being human. Hunson remained immortal, and their daughter became this immortal vampire queen carrying both humanity and darkness and the essence of evil from vampires. The person who would tell Marceline this story is long gone, right? Assuming Hunson wouldn't be the one to do so. Some stories just die with the people who lived them, and we never get to see it, and it remains a mystery. But here's what's even stranger. Hunson Abadir has a framed photo with someone else. Someone who shouldn't be friends with demons. Someone who serves candy and tea in a princess's castle. Now, we've done a video on him already where we dive into his true nature, but we never really get any real answers, just suggestions. Of course, this is about Peppermint Butler. He casually summons demons into Cinnamon Bun's body, navigates the land of the dead like it's a casual trip. He knows death. He tortures Peacemaster's children by transforming them into demon hybrids. Even the Gumball Guardians, Princess Bubblegum's own creations, call him the Dark One. When Finn asks to see his aura in You Made Me, Peppermint Butler refuses.
You don't want to see that.
So what is all this, and how? How did a cute candy butler become powerful enough to become the friend of the ruler of the Nightosphere? Well, the show never explained. 800 years of serving Princess Bubblegum, and we don't know if he started dark or became dark, or what his story really is at all. We know that he went to Wizard City after Come Along With Me, where the Dum Dum Juice turned him into a younger version of himself again, so we kind of get this idea of what it would look like if he were to have started over. And there, he studied dark magic. Kinda. It showed him as generically antagonistic rather than answering the fundamental questions. How did he get these powers in the beginning? What does his disturbing aura look like? What deals has he made in his life? And what happens that he's renewed, and does that depend on how he started his life to begin with? A lot of questions. But there's this even bigger question: does Princess Bubblegum even know about any of this? In Nemesis, Peppermint Butler actively hides his dark magic from her. But she is extremely intelligent, and he's served her for 800 plus years. She knows about magic, right? She's a scientist, she has to. Maybe they have this unspoken agreement. She doesn't ask, he doesn't tell. They both benefit from plausible deniability. He's kind of behind the scenes, taking care of the kingdom and doing the extra dark stuff that she won't do. Maybe. Which leads us to the last unsolved mystery of Adventure Time. There's plenty of others, but here's one of the big ones. And of course, it's about GOLB. There couldn't be a video without covering the mystery surrounding his entire existence. And for that, we have to talk about Puhoy. Finn's sad about Flame Princess. Jake builds a pillow fort to cheer him up. Finn enters and doesn't leave for the rest of his life. Inside, he passes through some sort of portal into Pillow World, a complete alternate reality made of pillows. He lives an entire life there. He saves villages from blanket dragons, falls in love with Rose Linen, gets married, has 2 children, grows old, and dies of old age. His spirit leaves his body and begins flying through interspace. And then we see him, a massive red entity with a cubic pyramid head and 4 yellow eyes floating in the void. GOLB sees Finn, opens his mouth, Finn flies straight toward it, and at the last second, Finn bounces off GOLB's tongue and ricochets away. GOLB turns his head, watching Finn escape, looking almost shocked or disappointed, and then Finn wakes up in the pillow fort, leaving a massive mystery. Why was GOLB there when Finn died in Pillow World? And just what was that? Does GOLB appear when just anyone dies? Is he positioned between dimensions of like the Pillow World and the real world? Was he specifically there for Finn and Finn just escaped? Or is he just always there and Finn just passed by? What happens to people who don't bounce off his tongue? Do they become those block things? Does he just consume them? One theory is that Pillow World was actually a collapsing universe when Finn died, and that GOLB appears to be consuming failed or ending realities, and that Finn just lived his life there and left before GOLB did so. Another theory is around death. The character rules the land of the dead, right? Something that exists in this world, but GOLB exists beyond that. When you die, GOLB might try to consume you first. So like, if you escape, you then go to Death's realm. If you don't escape, like Margles, potentially you're erased from existence entirely. Or perhaps if there's some sort of criterion that GOLB is looking for to attempt to consume you first. So this all explains why even Prismo possibly couldn't bring Margles back. It would have been because GOLB erased her before she reached any afterlife. That's why we think they're separate. But we think we can finally piece together all of the different pieces to figure out GOLB in a future episode, but we might need your help, so leave a comment down below what you think. And maybe in the new series, there might just be some more information about that. So, alright, those are all just many of the mysteries that haven't been solved yet. There's some more, but those are the main ones. But there are some that have been solved, we think. Kind of like Prismo's boss, or Martin's cosmic crime that ends him in the Citadel. Curious what those outcomes are? Click here to watch them. Let us know what you think. Those are our theories, but we're always interested in your comments. Click here, and we'll see you there.